Today, we're going back to Blackletter Basics and we're going to learn how to write one of my favorite words using one of my absolute favorite techniques, color mixing. It's so much fun and literally feels like magic watching the colors combine and move around in the letters. You'll also get to see me totally mess things up at the very end, but here we don't believe in mistakes. We believe in opportunities to learn and to play. So we'll also have some creative fun fixing things up. We'll be writing with a 4.5mm Pilot Parallel pen loaded with a violet ink cartridge. You can totally use any pen size that you like though, so feel free to use what you're comfortable with. To get the magic color mixing effect, we'll be dipping in Liquitex medium yellow acrylic ink, which we'll store in a little glass jar. We'll also use a Pigma Micron pen, and we'll be writing on Strathmore calligraphy paper with a light box, and my ultimate Blackletter guide sheets that you can get totally for free at blackletterfreebies.com. A few additions you probably already have that'll help us keep our tools clean are a small jar or a container of water, a toothpick, a paper towel, and that little cleaning slip that comes with the Pilot Parallel pens. There are links to all the tools in the description below, but one other quick note. In the tutorial, I referenced 4 basic lines for writing letters that I went over in detail in this video, or it's over here, somewhere on the screen. But as a quick reminder, the lines that we're going to be using are just line 1, which is a vertical line. Line 2 is a thick diagonal line. Line 3 is a thin diagonal line. And line 4 is just a horizontal line. That's it. I feel like I was doing martial arts there. But anyway, it's super easy and you can totally do this. Okay, let's start writing and playing. So as I drop the pen, I start to get a little bit of a color gradient. It does help too to start writing fairly quickly after you dip the pen. So there's another cool gradient. We'll use stroke number 1 all the way to the bottom. Now I'm going to start just a little under midway on the left edge, and we'll use stroke number 3 to pull all the way down to connect the bottom of the T. And that is our T for thankful. Now we'll write the H. I'm going to start with stroke 1 and I'm going to dip the pen again. You can see I dip fairly frequently, and I'll push just to see the guideline. Start at the top here, stroke 1. Now you can really see the color gradient coming out. I'm going to stop stroke 1 right at the dash line, and then I'm going to draw a diagonal line to connect to the base. Now I'm going to use stroke 2. Maybe I dip my pen again. Starting roughly where the dot is, connect to the top. Stroke 3, diagonally down. Look at that, those cool color effects. Stroke 1 all the way down to the dash line, and then stroke 3 again. And there is our H. This time I'm going to start the A one space over where the stroke will line up with the dot. We'll begin with stroke 1, and you can see this isn't fully at the top of the box. It's starting where the bottom left corner tip meets the dot on the left edge. We'll pull stroke 1 down, stop at the dotted line, diagonal, move to the top. Stroke 2, come back over 1 full line width till the pen meets both edges. Now we'll pull stroke 1 vertically down, and then stroke 3 diagonally. I'm generally moving the pen down at an angle so that this corner meets the intersection of the baseline underneath and the width line, the red dashed vertical width line. We'll dip again. Now I'll start the end, skipping a space. I'm going to start all the way at the top this time, with the top right corner of the pen touching the waistline. And now I'm going to come down to the dash line, diagonal again. This is stroke 2 here, diagonal down, stroke 3 until everything connects. Stroke 1 all the way down, followed by stroke 3, connecting diagonally. I've got my ink here in my hand, and that's what I'm dipping in periodically. The K is going to start all the way from the top, and we'll pull stroke 1 all the way down. Look at that cool color gradient again. Stopping at the dash line, diagonal for the K. Now I'm going to start again where the bottom left corner of the pen meets the dot, and I'm going to draw stroke 2 just up to the top, stroke 3 down, and then a reverse stroke 2 to connect. All I'm going to do next is do stroke 4 horizontally, followed by stroke 1 to the dash line, and then stroke 3 diagonally down. Now for the F, again, I'm going to leave one pen width space starting at the very top of the ascender area. Pull a vertical line straight down all the way to the dash line. Now a diagonal line again, that's stroke 3. Stroke 3 we're going to replicate up here as well, just diagonally down. And then we're going to use stroke 4 to draw the crossbar here. I'll dip the pen. There really is no magic to when you dip the pen, just dip it whenever you feel like you want that extra touch of color. Like so. And that's our F. Let's now write the U. I'll move to this next available section and we'll draw stroke 1 coming vertically down, connecting to the dash line again, followed by stroke 3. I'll skip a space in the center and repeat the exact same strokes. Stroke 1 all the way down, followed by stroke 3 diagonal, and we're almost there. I'm going to dip the pen once more, leave one space, and then starting from the top of the ascender box, draw stroke 1 all the way down until the dash line, followed by stroke 3. And that's it. Now it's a matter of enhancing and embellishing it to make it look even fancier. Before moving on, because these acrylic inks can tend to be a little bit thicker, they can dry and begin to clog the end of your nib between the two parallel plates that form the nib of these pens. This is where I'm going to grab my handy container of water. We'll just do a quick dip to rinse off the tip of the nib, and then using our, again, very sophisticated Kleenex or paper towel tool, I'll just wipe the tip just to keep it a little bit clean. I also want to mention that parallel pens come with this handy slip that can be used to clean between the two plates that form the nib. You grab the slip and slide it between the two plates, and then you can move it back and forth. Now, just for fun, we'll add a few flourishes to the design just to make it a little bit more interesting. So because this is angling downwards to the left, I'm just going to continue that theme, and using the corner of my pen, let's just draw a little circular line that comes into the center here. And I'll stop this with a little circle at the end. In this bottom area, I'm going to do something similar, but I'll demonstrate how you can add a little bit of additional weight just by adding some pressure to the pen. I'll start by primarily just touching the corner. I'll continue. Sometimes you have to dab just to get a little bit of ink on the page. So I'll start from the corner, and just by adding a little bit of pressure while I move, I can add a little bit of weight to the line. And because this one's continuing to intersect this line, I may just go ahead and pull it up a little bit into the letter itself, like so. Now let's see what we can do with the H. Kind of continuing with this angled theme that many of the characters have, that downward angle, stroke 3. I'll pull a small stroke 3 down here, like so. And to enhance this, I will start to tilt the brush to the right and then move in a circular motion up using the corner of the brush. And again, we'll just add that little dot at the end. For now, I'll leave the F alone, and we'll come, like we discussed, to the end here, where we'll draw another outward circular flourish. Because the L is moving upward and diagonally, I'm going to continue that line and just draw a flourish here. And again, I can make it a little bit wider by adding some additional pressure. And I can even potentially pull a small one at the bottom of this character just to finish out the word. And there we go. We have a nice flourished black letter word. Another thing that's jumping out to me as well is that there's a lot of space here between the F and the U. So what we can do to add a little bit of interest into this large space here is potentially use an inward tiny flourish like that, and that gives it a little bit of additional interest and fills that space in. We actually don't need the guides any longer, so I will turn off the light box. And this way we can really just focus on the letters themselves without seeing a bunch of extra lines. To draw the outlines, I'll be using a number 3 Pigma Micron pen that's about 0.35 millimeters in width. I'm just going to start from the left and work to the right. I really enjoy making these outlines. I feel like they add an interesting visual element to the letters. Sometimes I'll draw them close to the letters like this. Other times I may leave some space between them, but we'll draw them close today. And really, I'll just follow the edges of the characters, leaving no room between the black line and the lines we just drew. Drawing these outlines can also be a handy way to smooth out the edges. I can see that there's a bit of a rough edge here in this corner, and I can use the outline pen to just connect it and make it look a little bit more fluid. I'll keep following the outlines of these letters. Again, I'm just using the pen to add a little bit of weight on the outside of each of these lines. Sometimes I'll draw around these flourish lines, other times I won't. I can use these outlines to also clean up edges like this one. Make it look a little bit straighter. You can also pull the lines even a little bit down and add bigger points. So let's continue with the H, drawing the full outline around the base. This is often the most time-consuming part of the work, is drawing these outlines, but I really enjoy doing them. I find you can just get into a rhythm, enjoy basically tracing your own work, possibly cleaning things up and enhancing things as you go. You don't have to rush through this process. There's no hurry. Just take your time and have fun with it. Finishing up the inside of the A now. Now we'll work on the N. Outline there. Fixed up a little gap at the bottom. Continuing with the N. While making these, I'll often also move the page at different angles. Really, the idea is just to allow me to write the lines as smoothly as possible. Now starting in on the K. Long vertical line up here. Maybe I want to add a teeny bit of a point at the top, so I just extend it out a little. Maybe a bigger point up here, extend it out a little further, and come back down, cleaning up even some of the areas that aren't nice and straight. Pull this guy up, draw another outline here, another outline here. Inner part of the K, extend over. I want this to be a little straighter. Connecting the bottom of the K. Outlining the bottom. Not sure I connected this or not. We'll just go over it again. Now connecting up to the F. Vertical line down. Vertical line down. I'm going to clean up this edge a little bit. Maybe pull a bigger point there at the left end. Nice line there. Maybe give it a bigger point, the tip there. Fill in any gaps. Vertical line down. horizontal to the edge. Now I can connect with that final flourish that we added. And this unifies the look a little bit, keeping that area dark. And as you can already tell, I've smudged some of the work, but that's okay. I'm definitely going to clean up the top of this U a little bit. Vertical line down the page. Finishing up the outline. And finally, the letter L. Draw a vertical line, come down from the other side, vertical line all the way down, and connecting at the bottom. And there we go. We have our nice outlined, somewhat smudgy Thankful. To add a final bit of extra interest and dimension to the letters, we can even add some interesting strokes within the lines themselves. I'll again use my number 3 Pigma Micron pen. The technique that I tend to use a lot is to start with a dot or maybe a couple of dots, and then just draw a slow, somewhat dotted and dashed line through the centers of the characters. And there's really no end to the number of ways that you could vary this. Maybe 1 or 2 dots, slowly pulling the character, breaking it up here and there through the center of the letter, or slowly pulling the line through the center of the letter. Doing the same here. Again, maybe 1 dot there, it's a small segment. Continue through, starting at the A, maybe 2 dots for this guy. Start here, come down, move diagonally. I'm generally just rotating the page to make it comfortable for me to draw the lines. So I'm gonna pull this one down, dash it a little bit. When you get into these darker areas, you really can't see it as much, but I still like to add them. A couple of dots here at the end, break it up a little, make the turn. Here, maybe just, I ended up adding a couple of dots here. We'll draw another couple, straight line all the way down, break it up a little, turn at the bottom. Now I don't tend to follow these small edges, we'll just do maybe a quick line there, something small. Same thing here, perhaps a dot and then a line. And then line down through the center roughly. Same with the F, starting at the top here, maybe 1 or 2 dots, pull the line straight down. I usually won't draw a line completely across, but sometimes I do. A little bit of a horizontal line in that crossbar there. Same thing here, maybe a dot and a line at the top. Moving on to the U. I'm trying to be careful not to smudge this time. Let's see how that goes. Couple of dots on the U, roughly in the middle, to hold my pen way back to not smudge. Another dot the other side of the U, and then here again, a few dots on the L, and then a nice center line that's broken up. One fun technique that you can do with parallel pens is by crossing your finger underneath the pen and tapping the pen itself against your finger. You can actually create some interesting textures by spraying some ink dots on the page. So I'll show you as an example here. We'll just do a couple of taps and we'll get some cool textures, very randomized, that come out just by tapping the tip of the pen on the page. And now we've got some fun textures in our word as well. And now the smudges match a little better, right? Awesome. I wanted to wrap up today by letting you in on the little secret of why I chose this particular project of writing the word thankful today. Last fall, this channel passed the 10,000 mark, and I'm honestly just Just so grateful and thankful for your support. From the email to videos to building products and classes, it's still just me behind the scenes here, so I genuinely can't thank you enough for your support. There's so much more that I can't wait to share with you. More pen and paper tutorials, more Procreate tutorials, educational stuff like the hex codes and color videos from last year, and even some behind the scenes on building a creative business. I'd love to know what you'd like to see more of in the comments below, so please let me know. And I'll just wrap up here with a little reminder that if you want the worksheets that we used in the workshop today, you can get all of them completely for free at blackletterfreebies.com. I also just launched a new Blackletter Builder collection of products in my shop at blacklettershop.com. That includes letter-by-letter, step-by-step instructions for 3 new alphabets. And I also recently launched a massive new class that includes all of those guides and a ton more. You can learn all about the class at learnblackletter.com. Again, thank you so much for all of your support. As always, keep writing, keep playing, and have an absolutely fantastic day. I will see you next time.